Okay, good afternoon, stage 3, or good morning. This week, I think we have something easy for you, but also something very important. Last week and the week before, some of you are asking because your teacher gave you an essay, and you were asking me, how do you write an introduction? So this week, we will look at a very easy way to help you write an introduction, and something you can use every time you do an essay. So inshallah, it will help you a lot. First of all, just to explain some things you should and shouldn't do in your introduction. The job of the introduction is to kind of explain your topic, explain what you will write. So in the introduction you should explain and give some information, of course, about the main topic. You should also explain a little bit the task. This means if the task or the essay is about positive and negative, your introduction needs to tell us that this is about positive and negative. Same if the essay is about problem and solution, your introduction needs to tell us we're talking about a problem and a solution. And the last thing, the introduction should tell us a little bit what you think or what your opinion is. And then in the rest of the essay, you explain your opinion, you give us the reasons for your opinion, and then at the end, in the conclusion, again, you say your opinion. We will do conclusions next week or the week after. Some things you shouldn't do in the introduction, and some people do this, you copy paste or you just copy the words 100% from the question. I understand why you do this, but we have to change the words a little bit. Even if you just say the same thing with a different sentence, this will help you. If you just copy paste, lots of teachers, I think in IELTS, halas, they just delete anything you copy paste. Another thing you shouldn't do in the introduction is give too much information. Information about your ideas, because your ideas are coming later in paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. So if you say them in the introduction and then you have to say them again and again and again, your writing can be a little bit boring. And the last thing I said you shouldn't do, you can, but the sentence I will write about, we used it sometimes in stage 1 and stage 2, I know. For IELTS, for MSAT, we try to move away and use different things. So today's example, we will see some different things. We will do one example together. The question, essay 1, you did maybe 2 weeks ago with your other teachers, okay? We will use this one as our example because it gives you, you have ideas, you know this topic. Now, the first thing we have to do is give some general information about the topic. This topic, children spend a lot of time on sports and hobbies. Okay. Now, this topic is talking about now, talking about the present. So 2 words we can use to talk about now are nowadays and these days. We can use these to start our introduction. The first sentence here we have, nowadays, children spend a lot of time on sports and hobbies. Actually, this is a good sentence. The only problem is it's the same as the question, so we have to change it. The second one, nowadays, many children like to do different sports and activities in their free time. Meaning is exactly the same as the question. Meaning is the same as sentence 1, but now it's just, we changed the English. It's my English, it's your English. It's not the English from the question. And same, the third example, these days, children enjoy many different hobbies and play many different sports. Same meaning as sentence 1, same meaning as the question. We say paraphrase or we rephrase. We change the sentence, we keep the meaning, but with slightly different words. So step 1, that's all we have to do. We take the general information and we give one sentence to explain the topic. Step 2, we will develop the topic. We will add a little bit of information. Not too much, not our ideas, but a good way to do this is to break the topic into 2 sides. So we're talking sports and hobbies for children. And then we have an example here. Some children, they like video games, they use technology, they watch TV. However, other children, they like sports, they like outdoor activities. So now we've taken sports and hobbies and we've broken it into some people like this, other people like this. Yani we break the topic in 2 and we give a little bit more information. This allows us to add extra words to our essay. It allows us to use however, which is important language. And same, the second example, many children like to be active and play sports, whereas some children are interested in activities like reading and TV. One side active, another side not active. We split the topic in 2. And we use however, whereas to show that they're different. You can use this for most topics, and it's a good way to use your introduction to give information in general. Okay? Step 3. Explain your task. In weeks 1, week 2, week 3, everything we did was positive and negative. If the question is asking you about the positives and negatives, your introduction needs to say something about this. Doesn't need to say a lot, just a little. Here I put some very basic sentences. We're talking sports and hobbies. These activities have both positive and negative. Or this has both positives and negatives. There are positives and negatives to this. This sentence has not much information. You can, I won't say copy paste for every essay, but you can use it a little bit. And remember, positive and negative, we can also use advantage, disadvantage, good things, bad things. If the question says positive and negative, and you change to advantage, disadvantage, that's no problem, okay? And the last thing, step 4, usually in the introduction, we give our opinion. We don't explain it, but we just say what we're thinking. For this topic, children, sports, hobbies, in my opinion, sports and hobbies are good for children. Sure, 100%. The second example, in my opinion, sports and hobbies are good for children, but there are some bad things. For example, if they just watch TV, it's bad. I won't explain my example, The bad things are coming later in the paragraph. But on the whole, I'm saying sports and hobbies are good. 99% good, but a little bad. Sports and hobbies help children, but not all the time. Yani they're good, but we have a little bit negative as well. So those 4 steps make one introduction. Full introduction, it's about 50 words. And actually we did these 50 words with not so much thinking. Nowadays, many children like to do different sports and activities. Some children like video games. Other children like sports. These activities are good and bad. In my opinion, most of it is good, but some of it is bad. Very, very short introduction, okay? But very clear, does the good job of introducing your topic. So, this example you did, I think, last week with your teachers. I will explain this example in class because this video will be too long if I explain now. But it's the same thing. People choose jobs that are interesting but low salary. Maybe I would say nowadays, everybody needs a job, everybody needs salary, everybody when they finish university, they start working. Some people, they want the job with high salary, whereas some people, they want a fun job, they want an interesting job. If you choose an interesting job, it has good things and it has bad things. In my opinion, both are important. We need the balance between interesting and salary. Halas, that would be my introduction that we will do in class for this. So this week, your task is just a small task because I know you've had a lot of work recently. And I think next week, Mr. Ian or Mr. Ibrahim or Miss Marsha or whoever teaches you for writing will give you this topic. We will do the introduction for this topic this week. So next week when he gives you this topic, halas, your introduction is finished. Okay? And this week for me, you will only make 2 slides. Slide 1 is about useful language for introduction, how to do the introduction. A little bit like we did in Unit 2.1. So, useful language nowadays, these days, some people, whereas other people. This is what we will try and use. This is our useful language for today. And then slide 2, you will write the introduction in the same style as we talk about today. Explain the topic, break the topic in 2, say something about positive and negative, or advantage, disadvantage, and then halas, last thing, give your opinion. Okay, that's it for this week. I think it will be task 4.1, but we didn't decide the number yet. But halas, this week we will practice for giving introductions. Questions, you know to email me or to WhatsApp me. I will explain all of this in class again this week, so don't worry. And ma salama, I will see you soon.